Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Marketing Minute. I'm your host, Adam Small, and with me today we have Kimberly Small from Agent Sauce.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, and you?
Good.
Good. And our special guest today is Cindy Hartman from Nationwide Inventory Professionals. Hi, Cindy. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks.
Great. So today we're going to be talking to Cindy about Nationwide Inventory Professionals. So Cindy, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your background before we kick into the inventory aspect of things?
I was born in Ohio. We moved to Indianapolis in the late 1980s. I was in the corporate world for over 30 years and decided to go out and try entrepreneurship, which has
Big leap there after being in corporate for a long time.
It was scary and fun all at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm a mother of 2 sons, 4 grandchildren, and have been married to my husband, Mike, for 47 years.
Wow. Congratulations. That's a long
Thank
time.
you. It has been very long.
Not ready to kill him yet?
A couple of times, maybe.
A couple of times. There you go. So, all right. So you're with Nationwide Inventory Professionals, and what is it that you guys do there?
Well, Nationwide Inventory Professionals is a licensing agreement with other professionals who have started a home inventory business. We assist them to do that. We started out on this journey as being home inventory professionals.
Okay. And what is a home inventory? You know, I mean, it sounds obvious, but it seems to me there's probably a lot more to it than just what it sounds like.
Well, basically, you're pretty much right. It's exactly what it sounds like. We inventory the contents of a person's home. Okay. And we take photographs and also do a written report, including all of the big ticket items that would list the contents throughout the home as well as the garage and the exterior.
Okay, so there's a lot of documentation in there, so very interesting.
And you do the service for businesses as well, in addition to homes?
Yes, we do. We do the assets for businesses, nonprofits, government buildings, as well as homes.
What caused you to get interested in that kind of a business? You've been in the corporate world. I've known you several years now. So what caused you to switch over and get into this business in particular?
Well, what caused the move to entrepreneurship was me losing my job. And, you know, sometimes those big life events force you to do something that you've been thinking of for years and years and years. And
it was an opportunity.
There you go.
What you're saying, right?
Totally, opportunity. And Mike and I had talked about starting our own business for a long time. And when I was jobless, after a few months of sitting on the deck soaking up the sun, Mike kind of encouraged me to get back to working. And I thought, I don't want to go back.
You need to get a job.
Yeah, I don't know why. But so I started kind of looking around to find another job and couldn't find anything I really wanted to do. So one day Mike got home from work and I said, yeah, I'm going to start my own business. And his reply was, well, find something we can do together because, you know, I don't like my job. I thought, well, that really wasn't my intent, but we decided to go into business together. It's just been great. We've totally enjoyed working together as well. But so that's what gave me the catalyst to get into starting our own business. Why we chose this business is we had been burglarized once. Mm-hmm. Very small. We remembered everything we had, but it was still a whole Sunday of going through the paper, finding things that similar to what we lost and writing it up and filing our claim. Well, then a few years later, we had another major theft, and we lost thousands of dollars worth of items, mainly because we couldn't remember what all we had in the garage. Mm-hmm. And so 2 years later, Mike would go out to get a tool. Comes back in the house. Well, there's something else we forgot to list. And after we totaled up everything over the years that we had remembered later, too late to file the claim, it totaled thousands of dollars.
Significant loss.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And the time factor of trying to remember everything. And, you know, you look in the garage and there's a space there and think, what the heck was there? Right. I don't remember either. And it was just awful. So it was a months long process just for the garage. I can't imagine having to do it for a whole house. Right. So when we were looking for something to do, we found that type of service on the internet, and we thought, you know, bingo, this is really what we would love to do, because we were looking for a service and something where we could help people and something that could be done out of the home. So it met all of those criteria. And so that Hartman inventory was begun.
Cool.
Now, you mentioned burglary. There's a lot of other reasons that people would want to have an inventory and things that it helps with. Can you kind of go into detail other reasons that people would need to have an inventory on hand? And
Sure. Besides burglaries, of course, natural disasters, whether it's tornadoes or floods or hurricanes. Also, for an estate, if you're the executor of your parents' or a sibling's estate, to settle that estate, you're required to file a list of all of the possessions so that they can be added to the value of the estate. And that's a rough time for the executor to go through. You've just lost a dear relative or
Right.
parent, and now you're the one responsible to pull all that information together. So a major part of our business is doing the estate inventories. Other times for divorce, separation of assets, a more polite way to word it, or prenuptials. Many times when there's, especially when it's people have adult children and they're merging these two families, and the children want to make sure they receive the family items when that time comes. So
Right.
having that inventory for all of those reasons is very helpful. One of the things on our written report that we include is a bequest column, so that when you do your initial inventory, you can state who you would want to have that item. So when the end is there and people are splitting up your belongings, that kind of stops a lot of the family fighting, because you know the wishes of the person who just passed.
Right.
It's a very helpful tool.
Very interesting. So you kind of touched on this earlier when you mentioned your own issue with burglary and theft with insurance. So, explain why you would need a home inventory if you do in fact have insurance.
Well, the contents insurance is based on the percentage of what your home is insured for. And that's based on the value of your house. So you'll receive, based on your insurance policy, somewhere between 60 and 80% of what your policy is for the home. That's what they'll register you or insure you for the contents. So the importance of having that list is when you have a loss, the insurance company won't just send a check in the mail. A lot of people think that. No, if I have a loss, I'll just get a check for the amount of my insurance. Well, there's two main reasons why they won't do that. For one, since it's just based on the value of your home, you could have a lot more items than that value. As
Right.
an example, we inventoried a home that was valued at $200,000. Their contents was worth over $400,000 because they had a lot of antiques and fine art.
Right.
So that's one time where you would want that inventory beforehand, so you know you're insured properly.
Right.
If you're using the percentage based on the value of your home, let's say you just had a kitchen fire, they can't give you a full amount of the total insurance because that would include everything in your home. So you would have to take the time to list everything that you need replaced so the insurance company knows what to give you.
Okay. So are there any reasons besides, disaster, a fire or burglary or something like that a homeowner would want or need an inventory?
Sure, there's quite a few. We do have clients who wanted collectibles listed and photographed item by item. That's a major difference between a regular home inventory and a collectibles inventory. Because on a collectibles, we would list each item piece by piece, name of the item. Like if it was figurines, we would list the name of the figurine. Usually there's a number identifying that figurine, and then we would take an individual photo of each. So a lot of people want that as collectibles so that they can have that itemized list. A lot of times people are trying to complete a collectible, collection.
Right.
And so by having those individual pieces listed, they won't overbuy. We've met so many people that, I didn't know I had that and I already bought another one. So this way they could always check before they purchase a duplicate item.
Right.
And then they'll also be able to take the full item of a collection and know what pieces they still need to look for. Another reason would be sports memorabilia. Those can be very valuable
pretty
at
expensive
times.
collectibles there, right?
Antiques, and then of course china and silver. A lot of times they would want those to be itemized individually as a collectible instead of just under the normal home inventory. And then for realtors, with the industry that you're in, there are two main needs for people who want to have an inventory, and for realtors that would know about this to help their clients. Like if somebody's getting ready to move, often if they're moving in town, it's nice to have that inventory prior to loading the truck. Well, that would be for in town or out of town. You're loading the truck, the moving company will do an inventory, but they'll inventory just how many boxes. They don't list everything that's in each box.
Right.
And a great example of that is Mike and I met this couple who were moving to Indianapolis from California. The truck was in an accident and caught on fire. All of their possessions were burned up.
Oh, man.
When they went to the moving company to get their inventory, it just, it listed all of the furniture piece by piece, but then they had X number of boxes. No idea what was in those boxes.
Right.
So they could only do a best guess, try to remember, and she said, there's no way that they would ever recover.
Right.
So for a realtor, when they know their customer is moving, it's better to get a full inventory by a professional rather than count on the moving company, because they won't have that detail.
Okay. So moving is actually a good time to do it, both from a perspective of access to the home and things coming out, as well as insurance purposes, is essentially what you're getting at?
Right, because if you don't have a list of everything you had, then the moving company is certainly not going to believe you.
Right.
Unless you have a good itemized list, and then also the photos to prove that what you're listing.
Right.
You have the proof that the photos are going to back up everything that you've listed. And then also if you're placing items in storage. A lot of times realtors know of people moving, and then there's a month delay before they can get into their new home.
Right.
When your items are not on your property, you don't have insurance on those items. Some storage units require insurance. Others do not, so it's always good to check with your insurance agent. And I know a lot of people say, well, there's, it's safe because the storage units are,
yeah.
But all you need is the key.
Right.
The numbers to get into the
facility, right?
And then on the other side, often we've talked to people that own the units as well as police officers. Often it's people that have a unit that are the thieves of other units. Yep. They have easy access.
Right.
And then, of course, there's often opportunity for floods and sometimes a fire. Strange things happen. So it's really good to have that, again, a list of everything in that storage unit. In fact, we had a client who did that, had things in storage, and they moved to Granger, Indiana. Well, she called and she goes, do you still have our inventory? We can't remember if we had such and such in there or if we misplaced it. So, it comes in very handy no matter what you're doing or where you're going to have that list.
Right, right.
And then another reason is if people are buying a new home, bigger home,
right.
You've had a few more children, and to have a list of everything as you buy it, it's a great time to start that inventory. You're getting new items, you can have a really good, you'll have the price right there and everything else you need. Or for people, especially seniors who are downsizing, they're going to be getting rid of things, and then that's another good time to have an inventory, because then that's when they can especially start that bequest column, because they're getting older.
Right.
And they start to think about who's going to want this.
Right.
And in fact, we have our list, and we had our grandkids walk through the house one day and point out things they wanted. And
that's a nice morbid activity. Sorry.
Well, we made it fun. We started when our grandson was the youngest at the time. He was 4.
Oh, yeah.
Kids that age don't get freaked out about death. So it was just, hey, what would you have of grandma's if you could have anything in here?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that kind of lightened things up. And then we just went from grandchild to grandchild. It was really nice. And now we know who wants what.
Right, right. Absolutely.
So you go through and you do this process for clients and, bring it to their attention that they need it. With people, if people ask you about, well, why don't I just do this myself? I've got my iPhone. I can take pictures and go room to room and do inventory and throw stuff on an Excel sheet. And it's kind of like your to-do list on your homes. You can do things, but tell me a little bit about what you do that a normal person wouldn't necessarily think of in order to document those things.
Okay. Well, and to your point, we have had people say to us, well, why would I hire you? I could do it myself. And so Mike and I both immediately answer, have you done it yet then?
Good answer.
Well, that's the first answer, right? Yeah.
They sheepishly go no. And some people have, and we always say, way to go. We're really excited because there's just such a few percentage of people who actually have a really good thorough inventory. We have found that a lot of people will go and do a real quick video of their home, and that's better than nothing. Mm-hmm. But the key is to have the written report. And the purpose of that is, on a written report, you'll have model numbers and serial numbers, where if you're just doing a quick video, most people don't talk into the phone to record everything that way. And the importance of having a serial number is, if you have a theft and the police recover your goods, which is much better than having to file the claim,
Right.
they will need proof that it's yours. And if you don't have a serial number, it's pretty hard to prove that it's yours unless you've had your name engraved on it.
Right.
We know of a business owner who is no longer in business because she had her office broken into and they stole all of her computers. So the police called her and said, we have recovered a bunch of computers, come down and see if any of your are yours. Well, she walked into a room the size of a school classroom, nothing but computers, off table after table after table. They all looked alike.
Yeah.
And she didn't have the serial numbers, so she never was able to open her business again because she couldn't recover from that loss. So that's the importance
terrible.
of a serial number.
Yeah.
Also, model numbers are good because when you go to replace it, that model number will help you prove to the insurance company if you have let's say it's a power tool and you bought a circular saw. Well, was it a $15 one at Walmart or was it the top of the line from DeWalt?
Right.
The only way to know that, or the best way to prove it, is that model number, because that model number tells exactly what that value was.
Right.
So that's why those numbers are so important. And when people do a video, they rarely think to record that stuff as well.
So, and you've been doing this for a while, and you have relationships with insurance companies, what they're looking for in that kind of stuff when they're doing claims, and you store the documents properly too. So, if they do the video, if they upload it and put it somewhere where they could access if their home or business is down. But you do that for them as well, and you know what to look for, what the insurance companies are looking for. So you have that expertise that most people don't. And you hit on a good point. There's a lot of things, around the house that people can do, but they don't get around to it, or they really don't have the expertise to truly do it. They're not organized enough or have the thought process in order to
do it right,
to do it correctly.
Well, I mean, and your point about the model is really a great example of that, because a lot of people would know, well, I need the serial number, but they may or may not get the model. And if you have the serial number, sometimes you can look that up online, but not necessarily, So from a valuation perspective, I can see, just making sure you're crossing all your T's and dotting your I's. It's probably better to hire a professional than to try to do it yourself.
So since you guys have started this business, you guys have expanded into other services and companies. Tell us a little bit about what else you do beyond going into homes and businesses and doing inventories.
So in 2004, we started our business, and it was really difficult to start because we didn't know exactly what we had to do. What type of photos do we need to take? What do we have to list? What isn't necessary to be listed? And so we met with insurance agents and insurance adjusters, estate attorneys, financial planners, all of the different industries that our report would serve, and found out what they needed. Because if we don't serve our clients in a way that will benefit them down the road when they need to use that report, we're not giving a very good service.
Right. So basically, if the insurance company is going to say, yeah, this report does nothing for us, then you're not doing the job.
Right. Our clients basically wasted their money.
Right.
So we had to make sure we were providing the right information. And so we used a lot of guidance from them. And then after about 2 months of practicing in our house, we went back to those 4 different industries and talked to, again, the same ones that were willing to help us out the first time, and said, okay, here's what we've done. Would you look it over and help us? And it was so great to find people willing to work with us and help us because they saw the value in what we were wanting to do.
Right.
And so they then said, okay, tweak this, tweak that. I like this. And in fact, it was a financial planner who recommended the bequest column on the report. So it was nice to have their input. So once we got all that done, then of course we had to create the marketing materials and develop a website. And that, as you know, takes forever and a day. So it was a good year before we were really up and ready to go start feeling had a quality product that we felt confident asking somebody to pay us to do what we were doing. So that's the process and the difficulty that we went through that encouraged us to start Nationwide Inventory Professionals. And it's a business package and a licensing agreement where we license our logo with them. And we create a website. It's a clone from ours, but we personalize the about
for the
us.
licensee, right?
For the licensees, yes.
Right.
We clone the website, personalizing the about us and contact us pages. We do personalized SEO for them, and then we create a website newsletter for them, and we write it and distribute it for them each month. So basically, we took all of the time-consuming marketing side of the business away so they could work on their business, and we provide them with all the marketing.
Nice. Very nice.
And so then we have a licensing agreement with them that they have. And one of the big things that we do that most of them, or I should say all of them, appreciate is our mentoring. If they have a question, they just pick up the phone and call us. Usually, since we've been at this for 14, 15 years, we've seen it all, done it all, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
So they'll call us and say, hey, have you ever done like a chiropractor's office? I just had a chiropractor call me. Yeah, and here's some things you have to look for when you do that unique type of business. So our experience of all of these years are coming in really handy as we mentor our licensees. So
you really took your business that you were doing from a home inventory perspective, and you grew that into apparently a nationwide organization of home inventory people that rely on you for guidance and help in getting their businesses going. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
Nice. Very nice.
Franchise-like in the way that we set it up, except they're independent business owners.
Right.
And they're not required to do things our way. We share with them. We have a 200-plus page manual of marketing tips and who to market to and how to do it. And
it's guidance. It's not requirements, right?
Exactly. Yes. And we stress that to them.
Right.
Here's what we learned. We'll teach you this, and then you go do it and massage it to where you're comfortable.
Right.
We don't use a software program when we do our service. We have a couple licensees that prefer that, so they use an app. We have others that use video instead of still photos, so it's nice to watch them massage it. It's kind of fun to see how they took our base and then made it their own. So it's been fun to watch them, yeah.
Right. Very nice.
So somebody that's interested in doing this business and they reach out to you to become certified, how long would it take them to get up and going?
We can have them ready to do business within 30 days.
Wow.
They just have to go find the business. We take over all the website, the newsletter, all that background stuff. We get all that done in the 30-day time frame. So if they have clients, and some do that quickly, they are ready to go and do it confidently because of the training, or not the training, the mentoring that we've given them and the knowledge from that manual. They have that confidence that they can go out and say, I'm ready to go do business already. Right. A big change from our year, to bring it down to 30 days. It's really great.
Yeah. So that's a huge difference in time frame for starting a business. That's for sure. If somebody was interested in, say, becoming a licensee of your business, where would they find out more information about that?
We have a website, nationwideinventoryprofessionals.com. It explains a little bit more about the licensing agreement and the business package on the website. And then if they want more information than that, there's a form on there they can fill out, and then we will be in touch with them.
Okay. And if I was a real estate agent, one of the things that a lot of our real estate agents, customers do is help homeowners in their transitions from buying a new home or selling their home and moving into their next home. And a lot of that's with services. It's with, I know a handyman that can take care of this, and I know somebody that can take care of your yard for you, or whatever it may be. Home services, right? So they do a lot of referral that way. So if I was a real estate agent and I wanted to help my clients contact somebody in their area about getting a home inventory, where would I go? What would I do?
The realtor or the client, whichever,
Right, either one.
could go to the website, and we have a directory of all of our licensees.
So that's on your nationwide inventoryprofessionals.com.
Yes, there's a
Okay.
directory of the licensees on there. They could find the one closest to them.
Okay.
I do know some travel. We, from Indianapolis, we have been to Ohio, Illinois, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida. So we've enjoyed traveling and doing the inventory because they can't find people
Right.
in their area. So they would just find the one closest to them
Okay.
and call them.
Okay, great. So you guys have a program with the licensees where they, utilize your basically company business in a box in order to get them started. And you provide a manual, you said, of 200 or so pages that helps them, gives them basically the benefit of your experience, right? Isn't there a certification of some sort that they can also get that kind of helps the consumer or the referrer, the real estate agent in this case, have confidence in this person to do the job right?
Yes, that is the third business that we own. When we started the, as you called it, the business in the box, we realized at that point that there were a lot of people out there wanting to do a business. Some of them didn't want to become part of our organization. They just
Right.
wanted to do their own thing. I already have my website, or I do my own website, whatever the reason. And we also realized there were a lot of people out there that really didn't know the proper etiquette, I guess you could say, of owning a business and customer service. And so our business coach encouraged us to start an association that focused strictly on education,
Right.
to provide the knowledge for all home inventory professionals, whether they're part of our licensing agreement or if they're independent, completely independent. And so we started National Inventory Certification Association, more fondly known by us as NICA. And we have created a certification program. There's courses that are required to become certified, and then they need to take so many CEUs per year to maintain that certification.
Okay.
And once they've reached that, it's called a certified inventory specialist. And finding a lot of people looking for a home inventory provider, whether you're a plumber or a home inventory specialist, they like to see some credentials.
Right.
And having that certification has done a lot. We've had people call us, and the first thing they ask us, besides do you come to this city or this state, is do you have a certification and are you insured?
Right.
So people are realizing the value of that. So we're really pleased that we started this. And so to your other question on how do they find people, if none of our licensees are in their area, they could go to this other website. The association, there's also a directory there of all members throughout the country.
Okay. So your licensees then are required to be certified? Is that what I hear you saying?
Well, we can't require them because they're independent business owners,
True.
but we encourage it. And in fact, part of their fee to become a licensee, we pay for their first year of membership in the association, and we pay for all of their courses so that they can achieve that. And then after that first year, it's up to them to maintain that on their own.
Okay. Okay, great. Kim, you got anything else?
You guys have a great tagline, and it kind of reminds me, I think some people think when they think of home inventories, they think, I'll remember everything I have, I know my stuff and all that, and it makes me think of the game you played, even in I've seen it in networking events where there's 20 things on the table and they put them all away, and how many can you remember? And even with 20 things, looking at them, and people have a lot more stuff than they think, and you have a great tagline that kind of puts in perspective of, if you go ahead.
If you can't remember, you can't recover.
Exactly.
Okay. I was going to say, okay, you've said it twice now. What is the tagline? So, yeah, great.
So we'll, go ahead and repeat the websites. The website for the certification process is?
It's National Inventory Certification Association.com.
Okay. And then somebody that's interested in being a licensee?
NationwideInventoryProfessionals.com.
Great.
All right. So, and you can go to either one of those, it sounds like, to find somebody in your area. Is that correct?
Yes, there's a directory page on both of the websites, And then if they still need further information on our contact us, we have our phone numbers and email addresses.
All right, sounds great. Cindy, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just thank you and appreciate the opportunity to share the knowledge. And if there's any realtors too that would have any questions, I'm more than happy to take those calls if they would like to discuss this further.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure and really informative. There's a lot more to it than I thought there was. And to our listeners, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.